Hi friends, today I am going to review the book, Never Go With Your Gut: How Pioneering Leaders Make the Best Decisions and Avoid Business Disasters by Gleb Tsipursky. Avoid allowing your fight-flight-freeze instincts to inform your business decisions. If a saber-toothed tiger is chasing you, you should follow your gut. In business, however, making decisions that you base on your intuition can spell disaster. You can gain a competitive advantage by learning to avoid acting purely on your intuition. Take a methodical approach to your decision-making. Recognize the need for a decision. Collect information to garner an informed point of view. Consider what outcome you wish to achieve. Establish criteria to help you assess all your options, and conceive solutions that will help you reach your desired outcomes. Evaluate all your options and select the best one. Execute your chosen solution, and assess and tweak it. Consider what information you might have omitted and what biases you hold. Think about what an independent observer might recommend. Ask whether you have identified all the weaknesses within your solution, and whether new input would change your course of action. Go with your gut is the business advice equivalent of the chocolate caramel brownie with mint chocolate chip ice cream dessert. It contains more calories in a single serving than we should eat in a whole day, but our gut tells us to go with the brownie instead of the fruit platter. Your brain's amygdala is home to your automatic system, which makes knee-jerk, low-effort responses that can get you into difficulty. The intentional system, on the other hand, which the prefrontal cortex houses, counters the errors that your snap judgments generate. It supports rational problem-solving and learning, and uses much more energy than its automatic counterpart. The two systems work together effectively when, say, your gut warns you that something is amiss in a long-standing business relationship, which prompts you to rationally examine the issue. No one likes to lose, but failing to take a risk could cost you dearly. Your cognitive biases are responsible for poor decision-making. Early humans developed cognitive biases to survive the dangers they encountered in the savannah, but most are obsolete in the modern world. Yet they persist, and frequently inform terrible decisions. Our authentic selves are adapted for the ancient savannah, not the modern business world. Following your intuition in today's professional environment can lead to terrible decisions. While more than 100 biases exist, you can, with work, overcome them. Methods of debiasing include meditation. Set aside 10 minutes per day to meditate. Inhale for 5 seconds, hold your breath for 5 seconds, exhale for 5 seconds, pause for 5 seconds, and repeat. Focus on your breath, and don't let your mind wander. This simple practice can help you see through your biases. Other techniques include postponing making a decision so as to consider all options, using data and predictive analysis to make forecasts, reviewing past experiences, and setting a corporate policy for decision-making. View your loss aversion as a pattern that will likely repeat in the future. Consciously decide to rely on data instead of instinct when making decisions. Individuals tend to rationalize their own behaviors while attributing those of others to personality flaws. You probably attribute a careless driver's actions to his or her personality, but when you accidentally cut off another driver, you don't consider yourself to be rude. This phenomenon is fundamental attribution error. Moreover, you might think that an individual's actions reflect that of an entire group, or that a group trait exists in each individual member of the group. Group attribution error forms the basis of stereotyping. A blend of these two biases contribute to an ultimate attribution error, which occurs when you ascribe a group's undesirable traits to its internal characteristics rather than its external circumstances. For example, when people link a dearth of corporate success among women to women's internal traits and behaviors. In the ancestral savannah, it was valuable for our survival to make quick decisions and to assume the worst, regardless of the accuracy of this assumption. In the modern world, where our survival is not immediately threatened by others, such judgments about individuals or groups are dangerous. Meanwhile, the empathy gap bias incorrectly assumes an absence of good intentions among a group to which you don't belong, and a false consensus effect may lead you to view another's actions through the prism of your own, usually negative, experiences. To counter these 5 biases, refrain from making snap decisions. Change your perspective to reveal why another person acted a certain way. If you have difficulty, ask an objective person to review the issue. Also beware of extrapolating conclusions from a small amount of information. A colleague who is yelling on the phone may not necessarily be angry but may be conversing with a hearing-impaired individual. Even otherwise successful leaders can be blind to their misguided biases. Executives frequently don rose-tinted glasses. For instance, many otherwise competent CEOs suffer from confirmation bias. That is, They dismiss contrary information and refuse to acknowledge that they may be erring in their convictions. Many leaders convey an appearance of success to themselves and others, and reject any sign they might have made a mistake. This unwillingness to acknowledge mistakes is one of the worst qualities of leaders who are otherwise excellent. Individualism can undermine teamwork when employees take ownership of their successes but blame others for their failures. Scientists call this aspect of human nature the self-serving bias. Moreover, thanks to the illusory truth effect, the more frequently people hear a statement, the higher the chances they will believe it, regardless of its validity. The mere exposure effect can normalize something that is threatening or new. Meanwhile, personnel decisions can undergo the halo effect and the horns effect. When the former bias takes hold, you overemphasize one positive characteristic of an individual, while the latter bias overemphasizes a person's negative trait. To counteract these cognitive biases, always do your due diligence. Create future forecasts and review the long-term implications of a decision. To gather a comprehensive overview of a situation, offer employees incentives to present contrary opinions. If you are dealing with an entrenched culture, subtly change perspectives by determining what emotions cloud people's opinions and what they hope to achieve. Then, establish rapport by supporting them. Once you have built trust, they will be willing to share information with you that they previously kept hidden. Provide positive reinforcement to help them accept your viewpoint and move forward. To elicit greater input from others, be humble in your own point of view. Leaders should be confident when executing a decision, but when they're reaching a decision, the overconfidence effect can impede them. If you display arrogance while discussing a potential solution, your subordinates may hesitate to present you with other options. Excessively confident people try more things and take more risks, and they both succeed and fail more often than those who take measured risks. The optimism and pessimism biases are also connected to the overconfidence effect. While optimists easily conceive of new ideas for products and improvements, pessimists are quick to find the errors and risks. Solve team conflicts by having optimists generate ideas that pessimists cull through to home in on the ideas worth pursuing. Your gut prepares only for optimal results, so avoid the planning fallacy by considering all possible outcomes. Meanwhile, you may be misguided regarding the extent to which others understand your perspective. This illusion of transparency bias becomes apparent when, say, someone accustomed to arguing with computer programmers tries to outline a case in the boardroom. To neutralize confidence biases, test new ideas out on a small scale before unrolling them more broadly. Examine past experiences to forecast any possible problems. Take time to understand other people's points of view, and solicit the advice of an independent expert. Also, define corporate policies to keep decisions balanced. Your gut instincts focus your attention on details that don't matter. In discussions with a colleague, your gut may direct all your focus to a trivial point of disagreement, which overwhelms your rational side and ignores the 99% of agreed-upon issues. This attentional bias causes you to home in on emotion-generating issues instead of more important matters. Another judgment flaw disrupting your attention is surrogation bias, which places too much faith in how you collect data. If you avoid doing something because you think the negative consequences of doing nothing are preferable to acting, you're exhibiting omission bias. Circuit City went bankrupt when it didn't see shifting market forces that eventually undercut its reliance on flat-panel TV sales. When you follow your gut, you pay attention to the wrong things in the wrong manner at the wrong time. Sometimes, trivial details may consume valuable time while people ignore the bigger picture. This bike-shedding bias is likely familiar to anyone who's had to sit through a long meeting. And though stock portfolio managers make headlines when they repeatedly outperform the market, research puts their results down to luck. Outcome bias occurs when people celebrate the results and not the decision process. Similarly, survivorship bias manifests when people focus on available information instead of on hidden or unknown information. To counter attention biases, examine all alternate avenues, and try to find other possible causes for an issue. Think about ways to luck-proof future decisions. Think in terms of probability, and consider past experiences. Define how you will make future decisions, and commit to it publicly. Employ an assessment tool to help you identify the most prevalent biases in your workplace. The Dangerous Judgment Errors in Your Workplace tool can help you evaluate what biases exist in your organization and how to rectify them. Ask yourself 30 different questions, such as, what percentage of projects missed the deadline or went over budget? And, what percentage of team conflicts occurred because someone opposed innovation or surprising ideas? Once you have your answers, you can evaluate the frequency and severity of biases within your organization and develop an action plan to combat those judgment errors. Each question should take no longer than 20 seconds to answer. Upon completion, you can tally your answers to find where your business lies on the spectrum of dangerous judgment errors, which ranges from minimal to catastrophic. You need them to acknowledge where these biases lead to minor or major disasters, independently of your direct input. Next, determine how much biases are costing your company, and try to calculate an investment amount that corresponds to how much you could save if you eliminated, say, 20% of those judgment errors. Some costs, such as those that associate with missed deadlines, may be easy to calculate. Other costs, such as conflicts within and between teams, may be more difficult to assess. An analysis of your results should reveal the areas that require work. Concentrate on those questions you answered with 30% or more. Basing your selection on either frequency or severity of impact, identify no more than 3 areas that need prompt attention, as well as those with short-term and intermediate timeframes. Then, begin implementing a plan to eliminate those urgent biases from your organization. Takeaways. Avoid allowing your fight-flight-freeze instincts to inform your business decisions. No one likes to lose, but failing to take a risk could cost you dearly. Individuals tend to rationalize their own behaviors while attributing those of others to personality flaws. Even otherwise successful leaders can be blind to their misguided biases. To elicit greater input from others, be humble in your own point of view. Your gut instincts focus your attention on details that don't matter. Employ an assessment tool to help you identify the most prevalent biases in your workplace. If you enjoyed watching our content and want to stay updated with our latest videos, we'd greatly appreciate it if you could subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support truly means the world to us. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching.